It's been 5 long years, and finally the T20 World Cup is here. Everyone's really, really excited. For the first time, there are going to be 16 teams. But most importantly, is India bringing home the cup or not? Obviously, Jaggu and I can't answer that question, which is why we brought back our resident cricket experts, the wonderful Chandresh Narayanan and the wonderful Faisal Shariff. Both of them ex-ICC, both of them journalists, both of them believe cricket is life. They've got tons of experience reporting on cricket, doing stuff for cricket. And of course, being here on this show, by popular demand, we bring the two of them back. Boys, welcome back.
Gents, thank you very much for doing this and welcome back to the show. We have been eagerly awaiting this little appointment because, it's about to start and the T20 World Cup, and we're a little unfamiliar. We're hoping you're going to get us up to speed.
Well, to be honest, it has sort of begun, but we are not interested in Papua New Guinea and Oman and all. For us, the World Cup will begin on the 24th. Are we all as Indians on the same page regarding this?
I think just the of it, yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Tarana. It's just such little cricket happening between India and Pakistan that unfortunately that becomes the only showpiece of every tournament ICC holds. But yeah, there's going to be some great cricket. You remember the last time the T20 World Cup happened, it ended with 4 consecutive sixes, so
that was 5 years ago. We don't remember all this. That's why we bring you all back.
Okay, point noted. I'm very excited over October 24th.
Listen.
This one, I'm quite surprised. Jaggu, did you see that apparently England is the team to watch out for, and maybe they'll take home the cup? How? Chandresh is nodding because he's agreeing.
England has not been the team to watch out for many, many years. Ye kaise hua?
No, England is really the team to watch out for alongside West Indies. I think that they too are the biggest contenders in my view for the title, and then comes New Zealand, and then comes India, and then Pakistan.
Okay, हम लोग fourth कैसे हो गए?
वो fact है, मतलब as in Faisal will agree with me that India.
I don't agree with you on that.
You don't agree with me? Okay, I'm surprised.
No. India, Pakistan can be 4th and 5th. I think I'd rate Pakistan and India over New Zealand in T20 cricket. I'd rate them over them.
But you're in agreement with the England and West Indies? Number 1, number 2 options?
West Indies are now only a T20 team, according to me. With due respect, they've got some really good test cricketers, but I think it's a T20 team. Essentially, they've won it twice. I don't know how they do it. मतलब बाकी टीमें इतना सारा planning, and they've got all this technology and analysts. I mean, West Indies team also has it, but somehow they just have the flair for this because T20 to me is really an individual sport of cricket. It's the individual format of cricket. 4 overs from somebody, 20 balls or 15 balls faced by one batsman can change the game totally. So in that sense, it's like the singles part of cricket, where an individual performance can really turn the game around, unlike in test cricket or one day cricket.
And the reason you are in Jamaica right now is to do this in-depth analysis into what makes the West Indies team work the way it does, right?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah. I'm here to do a recce for a cricket documentary, so I'm very excited and meeting some amazing talent over here, some guys who are coming up, and I can tell you this, that T20 is here to stay. These guys are serious about it. Unlike test cricket and one day, there's less following for that, but T20, they believe they've got a kind of like a confidence now that they'll at least make it to the playoffs. They're very confident about that. Anything less than that will be unacceptable. So in that sense, they become like India, Pakistan. Okay, how can we not make it to the semis or the finals? So there's amazing confidence over here, amazing. And to be honest with you, I'm just in one of those islands, so I can't capture it. But Jamaica, in a sense, is one of the most important parts. They've given some of the greatest players to West Indies cricket. In fact, I was at the Sabina Park. Chandresh, I'm sure it'll bring a smile to your face. They've kind of really painted the whole thing outside. They put some great pictures. They've painted all the greats of West Indies cricket from Jamaica, and the ground just looks beautiful. It's just lovely. It was just so amazing to step onto it. Unlike India and Pakistan, there was no security, nothing. You could walk onto the pitch and you could on the ground. They're very chilled people. They're very aram se Nobody's bothered. Say, kya karega? He's a cricket fan. He's come take some pictures and go back. Very chilled out, yeah. I just love the people here, yeah. It's a very chilled out place.
Fabulous. Listen, I'm sure you guys have been tracking the IPL. Any standout performances that you think will sort of follow on into the T20 World Cup that we should be looking out for?
I think the standout performer from a player perspective, I suppose Glenn Maxwell. He made a big difference to RCB. Varun Chakravarti did well for KKR the time he played. There are players who I'm surprised are not playing in this tournament. One of them is Faf du Plessis.
Yeah.
So much so that Cricket South Africa tweeted yesterday about one player in the CSK team, and Faf actually replied to it saying, "Are you serious?" Because he was the player of the match, and they didn't mention him, and they mentioned a guy who didn't play, Lungi Ngidi. So Faf actually replied to that tweet saying, "Are you serious?" And now they have corrected it, and they mentioned specifically, including Faf du Plessis, who was the player of the final. And there's some undercurrent.
What is the drama? Why is he not?
What is the panga?
Even Michael Vaughan has said, "I can't believe Faf is not going to be part of the T20 World Cup."
So basically, they wanted him to commit to playing in the months leading up to the T20 World Cup, and he refused to commit on that. So not just him, even Imran Tahir, who was part of the CSK lineup, he's also not officially retired. So they should have looked at him as well. And to some extent, maybe AB de Villiers as well. But they haven't, there is some undercurrent of a political tension. Plus, there are other issues going on.
Cricket is going the West Indies cricket way. They're messed up. They don't have leadership. I think they've lost their way. I mean, there's such amazing talent in South African cricket, but I think they've just lost their way. And I think the ghosts of racism are never going to leave South African cricket till they can lay those to rest. I don't think anything will happen. But yeah, ये बहुत serious हो रहा है. Let's get to some fun of T20. Yeah.
By the time this episode is uploaded, unfortunately, the very exciting Papua New Guinea match will be over. But what do you think is going to happen? Because they are relying on luck and 3 lucky days in October, or I don't know what.
No, but I think
Papua New Guinea plays cricket, yeah.
Yeah, they're a very good team. And there are about 851 languages in that small island. And 11 of those languages have no speakers right now. So it's an amazing island. They have a strong connection with Australia. Ricky Ponting's Mamujan, Greg Campbell, who also played for Australia in the late 80s and early 90s. He played a very big part in the development of cricket in Papua New Guinea for at least 10 years. And most of the guys, at least in the initial years, came from one particular village in Papua New Guinea. So they have amazing stories to tell in that sense. And they may not make a huge splash in this particular tournament, but this is the first for them. I'm pretty certain that they'll do well in the coming years.
Okay, since now we won't know until this is uploaded who is right or wrong. Papua New Guinea or Oman, who do you think?
Oman is a very good team.
Oman will beat Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
No, because I'm also wondering, with 851 languages, how does the coach issue instructions? How does the captain issue instructions?
There comes the
that's a very good point.
I would be confused.
There's one link language apart from English. It's called Pidgin.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
That's peaceful. Then it's peaceful.
Excellent. But are you surprised? I mean, please remind us why Sri Lanka and Bangladesh are in the 8 qualifying teams doing the first round of cricket. Okay, so for everybody who may not know, there are rounds. The first round is 8 teams that didn't quite make it into the final 12, correct?
Yes.
And surprisingly, there is Sri Lanka and Bangladesh there. Now, remind us, because we don't remember from 2019, what went wrong? So why did Sri Lanka and Bangladesh make it? Yeah.
So basically, December 31st, 2018, they had to be in the top 8.
Okay.
And they were not. And this particular set of teams in the first round were actually meant to play the first round last year, in Australia. And to get to that, they played a qualifier in UAE and in 2019. So we are actually all doing backdated calculations right now.
But the Australia thing never happened.
Australia thing never happened. So 2019 का जो qualifier था वहां से teams qualify हुए पिछले साल के tournament के लिए, and from there, so those teams carried forward to this particular tournament. So it's all a big mess thanks to Mr. Coronavirus.
Oh, okay.
But I'm guessing that Sri Lanka and Bangladesh will pakka like get into the what's it called, the Super 12.
Super 12, yeah. Sounds all fancy, but वही है मतलब.
वाला elimination round है.
हाँ, मतलब वो वाला part of the tournament is going to be very exciting. But I think ये वाला part भी एक हफ्ता बहुत interesting होगा.
Fair enough. But it's a good thing, unlike one day and test cricket, now all nations are T20 nations. So this is the only way to globalize cricket. I think T20 might do what, one day and T-Test hasn't been able to do, to like spread cricket more. So I think in that sense, it's a good thing. These guys for a week will get a global platform. Somebody might come up with the fastest 100, or somebody might do something crazy with the bat or the ball, and they'll get into reckoning. And you never know, cricket could be in another, country be taken more seriously than it is. So that's a damn good thing.
Absolutely. Even as we speak, Jaggu, even as we speak right now, Denmark and Italy are playing a match in Europe to qualify for next year's T20 World Cup in Australia.
Oh, not bad. Where else are you going to get to see Oman and Papua New Guinea play? So Faisal's point is absolutely right. I mean, it's getting more and more global. It's getting more and more inclusive, which is what you want from a sport with that much backing. But
absolutely,
aside from the teams, there's a whole bunch of technical stuff that's also happening that we want to discuss with you. We were talking about the spider, and we were talking about a new DRS system, as it were. What all is happening there?
There are some very fancy gadgets that the ICC is putting its money on for this coverage. But also, I think very interesting that this particular tournament, they're going to have a sort of a version of a strategic timeout that we see in the IPL, which is going to be very interesting, where they're going to allow the coach to come onto the field and have discussion with the players like it happens in the IPL. That's a first. And the ICC had been resisting that for so many years. They've had multiple papers being circulated about introducing this, and finally they're doing it. I think the guys at Lower Parel have finally forced their hand on it. Also then I think we've got DRS for the first time in this particular tournament in T20 World Cup. It's a first, and two attempts are allowed by the teams, which is very good.
But Virat Kohli usually is not very good at these appeals and reviews, no?
Yeah, but this time you've got Dhoni on the dugout, so.
But he's a mentor. Can he demand a DRS review?
No, he can't. But maybe he just has to look at him like what's her name in Chak De? She looks at Shah Rukh from the sidelines and.
The goalkeeper scene, correct.
Yeah. So maybe he needs to probably try and do that. Just try and perfect it, that vision, the peripheral vision thing.
You're not stupid like what Steve Smith did and then got reprimanded for it once. Yeah. Asking the dressing room whether he should take the review or whether it was out or not.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
It should be a bit more strategic.
But you're saying the DRS review is by and large a good thing.
Yeah, very good thing. Only thing is that it will eat up a lot of time, but I don't think the guys at Lower Parel mind.
So that's a damn good thing, but that's where they'll make the money, right?
That's
because play and such big matches happening, and like just talking about that timeout, 2.5 minutes. Imagine in cricket, you never get 2.5 minutes of advertising time. You always get 30 seconds, less than a minute between overs. And here suddenly you're going to have 2.5 minutes twice. That's a lot of money that the sponsors will make. So I'm sure the ICC's finally had to bow down to that.
Fair enough.
But there's no problem in that. Yes, making money and more teams are playing great.
And the winning team is going to walk away with $1.6 million.
Yes.
Dollars, which is a lot more than ever before.
Yes.
Yeah, but compared to what some of the top players make, this is pocket change.
Yeah,
ask a West Indian or a South African or an Afghani, and the answer.
Chris Morris.
Yeah.
Ask Chris Morris. He makes that at every auction.
I have got to ask you, and everybody is wondering, seriously, is the Indian cricket team ready to bring home the cup? Is this the best possible combination of players that we could have? No. Who do you think is missing?
Tarana, I think I'll take that one, Chandresh. I think the Indian team is so good right now. We could actually field two teams. There's so much talent in T20 from India. There's so much talent, whether it's the batting, you take the spinners, you take the pace bowlers. I think there's enormous talent. There's no doubt about that. I mean, ideally, they should be winning the T20 World Cup every time it happens. But the problem is that I think the leadership is an issue. Uh, I really think that it's time Rohit Sharma took the captaincy. It's a wrong time to say it now that we have Virat Kohli as the captain and he's going to lead, and that's great. And we gotta have to support him. But I think leadership is an issue with this team. I mean, otherwise, I don't think there's no problem. I don't think there's a problem anywhere from 1 to 11 in this team. You've got big hitters, you've got game changers. Every second batsman can kind of change the game right down to number 8, number 9, and that's a huge thing for any team. So I think the Indian team, if they can get their planning right, if they get their strategizing right, I'll be surprised they won't make it to the finals this time.
I just find one issue with India is the fact that I agree with what Faisal is saying. I just have one issue with India is that our batsmen don't bowl and our bowlers hardly bat. That's a worry for India because there may be some days where even if you have 5 bowlers, you may be wanting to look for a 6th option, which India may feel stretched because if they add another bowler, they'll struggle in the batting. We've got the big hitters in place, finally. I think after years of Faisal and I banging our heads, saying that, this person shouldn't be playing T20, that person shouldn't be playing T20. Finally, they have picked players like Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav, who are really specialists for the format. And, the mistake that we make in India is to look at guys who do well in one-day cricket and say they're good for T20 cricket. Yeah, and Faisal and I very strongly believe one-day cricket and T20 cricket are now
two different games. Yeah.
Dramatically opposite to each other. So a Shreyas Iyer may do well in one-day cricket, but he may not do that well in T20 cricket because you've got guys like Surya and Ishan in the wings. And this is no indictment of Shreyas at all. It's just the way the format has evolved.
Chandresh, can I put you on the spot? Where should Virat Kohli bat in this T20 team?
I'm very clear. Virat Kohli has to open the batting. If he doesn't open the batting, he doesn't find a place in my T20 11.
Oh!
I am very clear on that. And Faisal is also, but he's putting me on the spot.
Do you think he'll open?
Virat Kohli is greatest or probably the greatest one-day batsman, one of the greatest one-day batsmen. But yeah, T20, I think he's good. He needs to take that step to greatness.
I think he realized that. That's why he started opening for RCB. And he said that I'm going to open for India in the T20 World Cup.
3 or 4. He can't come in at number 3 or 4.
That will just slow down the momentum of the...
Listen, before we let you guys go, you all mentioned Ishan Kishan. And frankly, I've read more than one article where he's one of the younger lot. He's one of the players to definitely look out for. Just give me a list of your top 5 players, both of y'all, that of the young guys, not the established guys, that we should be looking out for. This could be a career-changing thing for them.
There'll be so many young guys from these new teams, but I think we look out for one. You should look out for somebody from Afghanistan in the top order. There's somebody who's going to light it. Somebody's going to set it on fire. I don't remember the names, to be honest.
Zazai, there is one, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Zazai, Hazratullah
Zazai, right?
Who hit 6 sixes of... No, I'll give you one interesting fact. He hit 6 sixes of a bowler who later took the Taliban to the Afghan Cricket Board office and said, this is Cricket Board and this is the Cricket Board office. So this year, just a couple of months ago, and I told Faisal about it. It's like so eerie that, he's the one, the bowler who got hit for 6 sixes was the one who took Taliban for the first time to the Cricket Board office.
मतलब कितना दिल पे लिया यार?
दिल पे ले लिया, तालिबान को ले गया.
ना मतलब like अरे तुम लोगों ने मेरी गेंदबाजी पे ये किया और अब तो मैं तो डिस्ट्रॉय करूंगा गेम इस देश में. अब so this Afghan team that is coming with the permission of the Taliban.
Obviously, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if they lose, can they go back?
No, if they lose, Rashid Khan and Nabi will stay back to play Barsha Premier League and Bardubai Premier League. The others will go home.
But I think there's a great opportunity for Surya Kumar Yadav to really stamp his, thing on this tournament. He's really in peak form. I'm really hoping that he'll do India and he'll do, sorry, I have to plug it, Mumbai proud.
And and Faisal
I've been a big fan of him for years.
Yeah, for 10 years he's been telling me that.
Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah, 10 years. I'll leave you guys with one more name, Liam Livingstone. He may not have done anything for Rajasthan, but he's going to be another guy to watch out for from England. He was in devastating form for England this year in the short formats. He's also done well in the 100. He's going to be a player to watch out for. He's going to really shake up a few things. Nicholas Puran is another guy who will do well. Evan Lewis for West Indies, they are going to be doing well. For Pakistan, I think that their bowlers are going to be key, especially Shaheen Afridi and Hassan Ali. These two guys are going to be.
What about Babar Azam versus Virat Kohli?
Babar Azam versus Virat Kohli, he also faces the same problem. If he doesn't open the innings,
then he doesn't make it into the team.
T20. I know this sounds a very radical thought, but the fact is that if a Joe Root, despite being in tremendous form with the bat, he scored more runs than anybody else in the past 12 months across formats. He still doesn't find a place in England's T20 lineup because of the fact that where does he bat? He can't bat at the top of the order because they've got Butler and Bairstow and Roy. He can't bat in the middle order because that slows down the innings. So he's not in the squad at all. The same applies for Babar and for Virat.
As we leave you, both of you give us your top 4 teams. At number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1.
Okay. So I'd have Pakistan at 4. I'd have Australia at 3. I'd have India at 2, and I've had England at 1.
Okay.
4 is India, 3 is New Zealand, 2 West Indies, 1 England.
Fair enough.
Okay. At the start of this episode, we asked these two, and we were here to find out what are India's chances. Apparently 25%. Jaggu, do the maths.
Yeah, approximately. We're not the brightest candle on the cake right now.
GST लग रहा है? GST लग रहा है कि VAT?
I think the fact that Dhoni is going there as a mentor should tell you something about the leadership of the team. They don't need a mentor. Why would a captain need his former captain to be with him in the dugout? It defies logic. It's undermining the captaincy. It's not a smart thing to do.
Fair enough.
Well, hopefully Dhoni's presence makes the team feel, I don't know, more like a team and come together for him.
It should be the leadership of Rohit Sharma, Dhoni and Kohli combined, which I think can get you where you need to be.
So where does that leave Ravi Shastri?
Who's that? Oh, the coach. Yeah, of course. He's very important. He's going to be doing the main stuff, the main part.
Yeah, absolutely.
The main party.
Sorry, I missed the Y.
The main party.
Yes,
Okay.
He's in charge of the celebration. My God, you guys really buy into those memes, yaar.
They make those, Jaggu. They make those, and there's truth behind those memes, but we are not getting lynched over here. Anyway, fingers crossed for.
Guys, on that note, thank you very much for doing this. Not only are we more enlightened, we're also clearly more enlivened. So thank you very much. A deeper analysis, of course, at some point by the end of the T20, maybe we will come back and do with you. But right now, we have your words of wisdom to take us through the tournament. So very much appreciated. We'd also like your opinion on who you think your top 4 teams could be. Put that down in the comments. While you're at it, also like, also subscribe, also share. All of that. Hit the bell icon. You will be notified the next time we post something. And Chandresh Faisal, once again, thank you so much for doing this.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.